police powers of them. So any state in the country where there is AFSPA prevailing, the army has the authority to kill first and then answer questions later. And there's been a lot of movement across the country that these laws should be repealed. These laws which are giving impunity to the armed forces, to the police force, should be repealed. But the armed forces establishment has been opposing the repealment of the AFSPA. Recently there was a news article that in Jammu Kashmir they would consider repealing it, but nothing concrete has happened. There's been a lot of debate happening, but no concrete action. Human rights defenders in India, we are experiencing that two programs of the government for prevention of poverty and to address the issue of accountability, the Right to Information Act and the NREGS, that activists working on these two schemes and this law, the RTI Act, are being, they are being threatened, they are being beaten up, and in some cases they have also been killed. So these human rights defenders are facing a lot of threat across the country. And if I am right, in the last couple of months, or maybe a year or 2 years, there have been some 12 activists of the Right to Information Act who have been killed for exposing corruption. So this is also what is happening across our country, that those people who are fighting to expose corruption, fighting to ensure that poor people get employment rights, are being eliminated. Look at the kind of development projects which are happening in our country. Yes, there is a lot of rapid economic development happening, but corresponding with the rapid economic development, there is rapid inequality happening. The divide between the rich and the poor is getting wider. Large-scale deprivations of human rights are happening wherever these economic development projects are coming up, whether it is mining-related issues, what we are seeing in central India, what we are seeing in Jharkhand, what we are seeing in Chhattisgarh, in Orissa, there is illegal mining which is happening. The mafia which is running this illegal mining operation is violating a lot of human rights of individuals staying in those areas. Tribals are being displaced. Mega projects like dams coming up, like the special economic zones coming up. Huge scale communities are being deprived of their rights. And there is no law in the country which offers rehabilitation to people, to communities who have been displaced by these projects. I may be wrong, but there is a very, very old law in the country dating to the Britishers' time. And there is talk about a new law being brought in place for the rehabilitation of communities which are displaced because of development. That bill, I am told, is under process. Communalism is one issue that we as a country have been experiencing since independence. There have been large-scale communal violence against minority communities. We have seen that in Bombay, we have seen that in Delhi, we've seen that in Gujarat, and Kandaman is the recent experience where almost 20,000 people were displaced because of the communal violence against the Christian community. So this is another major issue which is there in the country today. And this is often instigated by political organizations for political gains. But communities are being displaced, are being harassed, are being threatened, and there's a lot of deprivation of rights happening. And then of course we have all the marginalized communities, women who experience domestic violence.